Hello, Rangers fans. Welcome back to another episode of Rangers Update, your go-to place for everything related to the club. Before we dive into the latest news and updates, let's take a moment to thank all of you for your incredible support. It's your passion that drives us every day, and we're thrilled to have such a dedicated community. If you're as obsessed with the Gers as we are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate every one of you. Now let's get into it, and welcome to all the new followers joining us today. Your support means the world, and remember, WATP. All right, let's talk about the game from last night. Rangers came away with a hard-fought 1-0 victory at IBROX over Hibernian, extending our unbeaten record against them to an impressive 21 years. It wasn't the most spectacular performance, but at the end of the day, it's 3 points in the bag. We'll get to the specifics in just a minute. But first, a quick glance ahead. Our next challenge is on Sunday against Hearts. A big test is coming up, and it's crucial that we build on this win and start finding some rhythm. So, last night, Rangers were not at their best, but we still managed to grab that vital win. The only goal of the game came from Manuel Fernandes, with a brilliant assist from Dujon Sterling. It was a beautifully weighted ball into the box from Sterling, and Fernandes's flicked header past the goalkeeper was perfectly executed. A bit of a surprise at the time, given how the game was flowing, but it was enough to send us into the half-time break with a 1-goal lead. In the second half, though, it was clear that we were lacking some sharpness. The biggest issue that stood out to me was the lack of cutting edge in the final third. We weren't clinical enough when it came to taking chances. You could tell we missed Bayovsky, who was out with an injury. He's been in great form lately, scoring 3 goals in the last 2 games. So his absence was certainly felt. Chimiti worked hard as always, but his finishing was way off. There was one moment in the first half when he shanked the ball wide, and in the second half, he had a chance to put us 2 up, but smashed it straight at the goalkeeper. If he had placed that one to either side, it would have been a goal, and the game would have been out of reach for Hibs. Unfortunately, I don't think Chimiti is the answer for Rangers. As much as we'd all love to see him come good, I just don't see it happening. He played the full 90 minutes, possibly with an eye on Sunday's game, but I sincerely hope he won't be leading the line against Hearts. If that happens, we could be in for some serious problems. On the defensive side, things were slightly more positive. Max was solid at right wing-back and looked quicker and more mobile than Tav. Tav came on in the second half, but to be honest, he was awful. He gave the ball away far too easily, committed silly fouls, and just seemed completely off the pace. It wasn't the performance we've come to expect from him, and it's concerning to see such a drop in form. Dujon Sterling had another strong game, and I thought JGA did well too. Danny Rule is definitely going to have a tough decision on his hands when it comes to selecting the defense for Sunday, especially with Cornelius and Suter still out. With Nasaja heading off to AFCON, the options are even slimmer. This could open the door for Clinton and Ciala to play, and it'll be interesting to see if Danny Rule opts for a back 3 or maybe shifts the formation to a back 4. Could it be Sterling, Fernandes, and Iniala making up that back 3 on Sunday? It's a possibility, but we'll see how things play out. A couple of players stood out for me last night. Connor Barron was absolutely outstanding in the midfield. He's one of those players who just doesn't stop working. He was everywhere, tackling, breaking up play, and even starting attacks from deep. His work rate was phenomenal, and he really battled to win the ball back. Whenever Hibs started to get a foothold in the game, he's been a real presence in that midfield, and his performance last night was one of the main reasons we managed to hold on for the win. Mikey Moore also had a strong game, strong despite being listed on the team sheet as playing on the right. He drifted inside, influenced the game centrally, and showed great drive and determination. He's come a long way since his early struggles, and I have to admit I was wrong about him. He's still young, but he's been getting better with every game, and he definitely looks like someone who can add some danger to our attack. Mikey Moore's future is up in the air as he's still on loan from Spurs, and he's not sure what will happen beyond this season. There's talk of him staying on at Rangers, and while I'm not sure he'll go straight back into Spurs' first team, I do think he has a good chance of finding regular football either here or elsewhere. What's clear is that Mikey Moore has improved, and he's proved me wrong. I'm glad to see him find his form, and I hope he continues to push on. Looking at the team as a whole, it wasn't a great performance, but we got the job done. The defense was solid enough, and we were fortunate that Hibs didn't capitalize on a few of their chances. Jack Butland didn't have much to do, but when called upon, he did well. Fernandez was solid, certainly better than he has been in recent games, and the left-back position was handled decently by MMO. The midfield, however, didn't have as much control as we'd like. There were times when we were overrun and struggled to get a grip on the game. Vinny Curtis worked hard but didn't have much impact. He put in one great ball from the left, but no one was there to attack it. That's been a recurring issue. Our forwards just aren't attacking crosses with enough conviction. It's something we need to work on, especially if we're going to compete with the likes of Hearts, who are very strong in defense. Overall, last night was a workmanlike performance. It wasn't a thrilling spectacle, but it was a vital win. That's what we need to focus on right now, stacking up the wins, taking the 3 points wherever we can. This squad, as we all know, isn't perfect, and there's a lot of work to be done. But for now, we need to make the best of what we've got. Danny Rule is doing his best with limited resources, and I don't think he should be criticized too harshly. Given the situation, one big question hanging over the team is the lack of attacking options on the bench. Last night, it was clear that we didn't have much to call on if things went wrong. And where is El Cameron? He's been a mystery all season. And I think it's about time someone asked Danny Rule what the issue is with him. From what I've seen, Cameron would be a much better option to bring on than some of the players we've been relying on. But who knows, maybe Sunday will be the day he finally gets his chance. Finally. One player who didn't feature last night was Joe Rothwell. Sheffield United are reportedly confident about landing him, and it seems like he could be on his way out of Rangers in January. He had a solid stint at Leeds in the Championship, but since joining us, he hasn't quite hit the mark. If he does leave, I hope he finds a club where he can get more playing time. For Rangers, it's looking increasingly likely that he will be moving on. Let's see how that develops over the next few weeks. Looking ahead to Sunday's game against Hearts, we have to step up. They're a well-organized team, and Derek McInnes has them playing good football. And we can't afford to be complacent, and we need to be more clinical in front of goal. If we do that, we've got a good chance of getting a positive result. But if we don't improve on last night's performance, it could be a tough afternoon at Tynecastle. Let's hope we see a stronger Rangers side and a much more decisive display as we move further into what is shaping up to be a defining phase of the season. The focus naturally shifts towards Sunday and what Rangers must do differently if they want to take another step forward. The win against Hibernian was important, no doubt about that, but it also exposed several issues that cannot be ignored if this team is serious about building momentum. Hearts away is never a simple task, and going to Tynecastle demands intensity, bravery on the ball, and a level of sharpness that was missing for large spells at IBROX. What concerns me most going into this match is not the organization or the effort, because that has largely been there, but the recurring struggle to turn decent spells of play into clear chances. Rangers often get into promising areas, move the ball wide, recycle possession, and then hesitate at the crucial moment. That hesitation allows opponents to reset defensively, and suddenly the opportunity is gone. Against Hearts, that kind of indecision will be punished quickly, especially in a stadium where the atmosphere can swing the game within minutes. The absence of a reliable focal point up front continues to loom large. Without a forward who consistently attacks crosses, makes sharp runs across defenders, and demands the ball in dangerous areas, Rangers become predictable. You can see midfielders and wide players looking up, searching for movement that simply does not come often enough. This puts extra pressure on players like Mikey Moore and Dujon Sterling to create something out of very little, and while they have shown quality, they should not be carrying that burden alone. Connor Barron's role will be absolutely vital again. His energy, aggression, and willingness to cover ground give Rangers a fighting chance in midfield battles that might otherwise be lost. Hearts will look to press high, disrupt build-up play, and force mistakes in dangerous areas. Barron's ability to read the game, step in at the right moment, and drive forward with the ball could be the key to breaking that press, but he cannot do it on his own. He needs support around him, players showing for the ball and moving with purpose rather than hiding behind markers. Defensively, there is a sense that Rangers are slowly finding a bit more stability. Even with the injuries and absences, the idea of a back three has its merits, especially when fullbacks are asked to provide width and energy higher up the pitch. However, that system only works if the defensive unit moves as one. Against Hearts, any hesitation or lack of communication will be ruthlessly exposed, particularly from set pieces and second balls, areas where Rangers have looked vulnerable at times this season. Danny R will also be judged on his in-game management. The substitutions against Hibernian did little to change the flow of the match, and in some cases, arguably made Rangers look weaker rather than stronger. At this level, you need players coming off the bench who can either calm the game down or inject urgency and creativity. Right now, that balance is missing, and it leaves the team walking a fine line when protecting narrow leads. One mistake, one lapse in concentration, and all the hard work can be undone. There is also the mental side of the game to consider. Rangers are a club built on expectation, and every performance is scrutinized heavily. When confidence is fragile, players can play within themselves, opting for the safe pass instead of the decisive one. You can sense that tension at times, particularly in the final third, where players seem afraid of making the wrong decision. Breaking out of that mindset requires belief, repetition, and sometimes a moment of individual quality that lifts everyone around them. The situation surrounding potential departures adds another layer of uncertainty. When players know changes may be coming, focus can waver even subconsciously. It is human nature. That is why clarity from the coaching staff is so important. Keeping the squad aligned and focused solely on what happens on the pitch. The coming weeks will tell us a lot about who is fully committed to the cause and who may already be looking elsewhere. For all the criticism, it is important to recognize that this team is still picking up results, even when performances are far from polished. That counts for something in a league where momentum can shift quickly. However, there is a clear difference between surviving games and controlling them. Rangers need to start imposing themselves for longer periods, dictating tempo, and making opponents chase shadows instead of constantly reacting to pressure. Sunday's match is a chance to show growth, not perfection, not dominance from start to finish, but progress. Quicker ball movement, braver runs, sharper finishing, and a willingness to take responsibility in key moments. Hearts will test Rangers physically and mentally, and there will be spells where the home side is on top. How Rangers respond in those moments will say a lot about where this group is heading. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are gone, ruined IBROX, and they are really the kind that bring comfort. There's a proper sense of unease clinging to the blue half of Glasgow, with talk growing louder that a serious injury to Bojan Miovski has thrown Rangers' plans into disarray. Nobody at the club is saying much on the record, but behind closed doors, the mood is said to be anxious, even panicked, as the scale of the problem starts to sink in. Miovski's name has been buzzing through the corridors for a while now, linked with tactical ideas, squad reshuffles, and quiet ambitions for the months ahead. That's why confirmation of a severe injury has landed like a slap. Word is the damage is worse than first feared, with fears that his season could be hanging by a thread. For a club already feeling the pressure, losing a player so central to ongoing conversations has sparked a flurry of late-night meetings and hurried phone calls. Sources close to the dressing room mutter that the gaffer and his staff are scrambling to reassess, weighing up short-term fixes against longer-term risks. There's frustration too, because this is the kind of setback that no amount of planning can fully guard against. Fans, ever alert to the slightest shift in tone, have sensed something's no right. Social media is awash with speculation, half-truths, and nervous guesses, each post adding to the feeling that Rangers have been dealt a sore hand. Officially, it's all calm faces and measured words. Unofficially, there's a belief that this injury could ripple far beyond one player, affecting balance, confidence, and the broader vision for the campaign. In the west of Scotland, rumours spread fast, and this one has legs. Whether it proves to be a storm in a teacup or a defining blow remains to be seen, but for now there's no denying it. Rangers are edgy, and the Miovski situation has the whole place talking. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned